This is Jason Gerke, and this is Lynxx 24, connecting you to the community.
Welcome to your Hometown News. I'm April Frelke with my co-host Joe Minnie, and we're going to get right into our first segment, Health Check 360. When it comes to dealing with the loss of a loved one, talking to others is something healthcare professionals highly recommend. Toma Health Hospice Touch Chaplain Claudia Deede explains how grief support is a vital tool during this edition of Health Check 360. Claudia, welcome.
Yes,
Chaplain.
welcome.
Is it Deede? Did I say that right? Yes. Okay. So let's just start off with, tell us a little bit about yourself and your role with hospice care at Toma Health and the palliative care.
Okay, thank you. I began that role last year in July after having retired from full-time ministry. I'm an ordained person in the Methodist Church, and so I was a full-time pastor for many years and had to retire because of my age. And so I came to Toma to live with my daughter, who's a pastor here, and applied at Toma Health because I heard it was such a wonderful place to work. And hospice is one of the favorite things, working with people at the end of their lives is one of the favorite things that I've done in my ministry. And so that was really a very appealing thing to me. Didn't have a clue if they would hire me, and they did. And it's been a wonderful, wonderful opportunity for me to continue to do ministry with folks who are working towards the end of their lives and their family members.
But grief support is something that the Toma Health Hospice Care also provides, and they've been doing that for years.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that and that support that you provide?
Sure. When one of our patients passes, we put their family members and any other acquaintances who might need it into our bereavement program. The bereavement program at Hospice Touch lasts for 13 months. We make phone calls, we send mailings, we offer things like the grief group, which we haven't been able to do because of the COVID-19, but we really walk with those people as they move from the initial loss through as much healing as we can help them do. So it's a 13-month program that is not standard for every person in the same way, but changes based on their needs and what they express to us.
Claudia, what are some of the needs that you're seeing, and like why would that be so important for the grief support part?
Well, in today's world, it's the isolation that has really exacerbated the grief that people are feeling. They can't even connect with family members, much less people outside of the family, professionals that can help them in person. So a lot of the things that we've been doing, we've really adapted to telephone. And we tried to do a virtual grief group in late winter, and it just didn't work. Most of our contacts following the death are people a little older, and so they don't have the tools that they can use and are a little nervous about using online tools. So we are really excited that we can offer an in-person grief group now.
So in the year that you've been working at this, what's the reaction that you've been getting from, the support grievers, I guess?
Mixed and varied, as with everything. We have individual conversations with folks on a more regular basis if they ask for it. And sometimes we suggest that they might want more frequent phone calls because we can see that there's a deep grief that they're not able to express. We send out literature, books. There's a really good book that we offer people so that they can read it and then respond to us during our phone calls. But the grief that we see now is so much deeper than what we might have seen
the
before.
Loss and the loneliness that goes with that.
Wow. I bet even some of the physical touch
it is.
is not there.
Right.
So Claudia, walk us through the grief program, this bereavement program that's going to be in person now. Give us some details about that.
Okay.
How would you register, when, all that stuff with that?
Sure. The grief group that we are offering will start on April 14th in the evening and April 15th in the afternoon. So we're actually having 2 opportunities for people to be part of this group. We're actually looking into a way of including people through a virtual into the classroom opportunity.
Okay.
We haven't quite figured that out yet, but we're working on it because we have several people who just are not comfortable yet coming into contact with people. But we start the grief group. People can call Hospice Touch 608-374-0250 to get more information. They'll speak with either myself or our bereavement coordinator, Sam. We can get a feel of where they're at and how we might be most helpful to them. Our goal is always to individualize as much as possible. But bringing people together in this group seems like it's going to be a great benefit. We have people right now who have started the registration process that are anywhere from 1 month since the passing of their loved one to 14 months. So we know that this year has been hard, and people didn't get the support that individual personal touch. And yes, touch is important. That's one of the things that we see in our everyday work with our hospice patients and the families, and not being able to offer a hug or even a handshake for some people has been really difficult for them. So we are really excited about the potential that we have to do some of that. I mean, we will definitely be masked and distanced, and pay attention. People have to be temperature checked when they come in. We normally offer a little bit of a snack kind of thing. We're not doing that because we can't do that at this point, but people are welcome to bring in their water bottles or whatever because it's theirs. So.
Well, Claudia, thank you for joining us, and good luck with the program.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Well, do you enjoy a good 3-on-3 pickup basketball game? Well, feel if you have the skills to take on a game to the next level? Well, our next guest has done just that and has taken it national, so stay tuned for that. And the catering for cast and crew has been provided by Marco's Italian and American Grill in Warrens, where you can enjoy a fun and relaxing atmosphere at Marco's. But first, we want to thank our program sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Your hometown news is brought to you by Oakdale Credit Union, Hardware Hank in New Lisbon, The Fun Company Game Room Store, and the Little Cottage Home Decor and more in New Lisbon.
We love being active and living life to the fullest, but life can sometimes have other plans. Do you suffer from neck and lower back pain, muscle aches, and poor mobility? Trust Olson Chiropractic to find you the right treatments that fit your needs, including the benefits of an alkaline lifestyle and healthy nutrition to help guide you to a better, more active life. Call Olson Chiropractic today, trusted in Toma for over 20 years.
What's the more in the Little Cottage Home Decor and more? Fashion. Shopping is fun at the Little Cottage. Update your look and discover more at the Little Cottage Home Decor and more, New Lisbon.
The Oakdale Credit Union has spent decades serving Oakdale, Mauston, and Reedsburg. From comprehensive financial services to reliable mortgage loans, we strive to provide unparalleled care.
I like the warm and friendly atmosphere each and every time I come in. The staff is very knowledgeable and truly cares about its members.
Come and learn more about the Oakdale Credit Union, where we treat you like a member of the family.
At Toma Health, our rehabilitation team specializes in physical therapy for injuries, chronic pain, post-surgery, and sports injuries.
Here at Toma Health, I provide quality care with patients by taking time to spend one-on-one.
Toma Health offers the latest technology and aquatic therapy to improve patient outcomes and ensure a better quality of life.
Our rehab services department truly cares about treating people as a whole and getting them to be the best version of themselves.
Toma Health offers personalized rehab therapy close to home.
Relax.
at Marco's Italian and American Grill in Warrens, Wisconsin.
You're watching Lynxx 24.
Connecting you to the community.
Well, our next guest is the owner of Top 3 Promotions, a national 3-on-3 basketball company, and that's moving to the next level. So please welcome to our program, John Atkinson. John, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Great to have you. Let's just start with your story. How did you get to a national level of a 3-on-3 tournament kind of company?
Well, it came about kind of late in life. I'm actually born and raised here in Wisconsin. I was raised in Racine, south of Milwaukee. Moved out of Racine in '98 when I was a freshman to New Lisbon, of all places. Moved there, and then I did 3 years at New Lisbon and moved to Elroy for my final year. And then my senior year of high school, 9/11 happened. And so that changed my life. I decided to not do college, and I joined the military. And then from then I did 10 years in the Army. And I did 4 years in Germany. Came home after the first 4 years, and I met my now wife, Rachel. Been married 13 years this year. And I have one daughter, Phoebe. And when I was in high school is when I kind of fell in love with basketball. I wanted to play a lot more, but I was short. I was 4'9" until I was a senior. Then I was 5'11", so that kind of posed a challenge. Didn't play much in high school, but then when I got over to Europe and Germany, I played for the Army for 4 years and fell in love with it even more. And then when I came home, I actually met my wife playing basketball in New Lisbon is how we first met. And so the love was always there for it. And after that, I was a drill sergeant for 6 years in the Army. And I was medically retired in 2011. And from then, I decided, what am I going to do? So 28-year-old freshman in college, I went to Western Technical and played basketball there for a couple of years.
You had eligibility.
Yeah, good for you. We call you a non-traditional student, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I went to school for human resource management is what I did. But then I was a 2-year starter there. And when I was done with that, I had some offers to go elsewhere in college. But now I'm pushing 30. And so my nephews convinced me to come be their coach for a homeschool team in Hillsboro. And then from there, they actually came to town here to Tomo Baptist Academy, and they recruited me, and I came up here. So for 7 years, I was coaching them in basketball and running tournaments as fundraisers, and that's kind of where the love of tournaments came in, just because I like seeing people get out and be active and doing things with their lives.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to do something with that permanently, and so this has been actually in the works for about 4 years now. And we had permission to launch it a week before COVID took place.
No way.
So all of 2020 was pretty much
sitting on your hands waiting.
It was actually kind of a blessing in a sense too. I was able to kind of do a lot of the behind the scenes legwork to figure out everything we needed to do. So it helped us a lot, but I also wanted to get things going pretty quick too. So it's different. But now we're ready to go. We got our first event starting in May of this year across the country. So I'm excited.
So this sounds like it's going to be a big deal. So what kind of staff do you need to run these tournaments?
I have 20 reps that work for me. They're independent contractors, we call them. They either have served with me in the military or I play with them in college. And so what they do is they're tasked actually to run an entire state. As far as staffing goes, the facilities that we have the events in, they do a lot of that as well. They provide some people for us. But really, we just have one rep for our company across the country. With those 25 states, some of them are kind of tied together to make it one area, like out west. For Washington and Oregon, both of those are combined together because there wasn't enough cities. We try to have 10 events per state, but some states you really can't find 10 cities to host events in, so I combined a few of them. And then out in the East Coast in the New York area, I combined, I think, 5 states there just because New York State itself really isn't allowing much of anything. And so we kind of did the surrounding states, and then so it kind of tied that to a Northeast area.
So you have to kind of, each state's got a different set of COVID rules.
Right.
And
that was one of the biggest challenges, too, is dealing with all the gyms and figuring out what protocols we had to follow. So I tried to draft my own COVID protocols, but it was just too difficult. There's no way to do that to kind of encompass everything. And so what we've done is we've adopted a policy set forth by each facility itself.
Okay. Yeah, jump in, Joe. Go ahead.
Well, I saw online that 3-on-3 is like the largest urban sport worldwide.
So it's very popular from what I understand.
It is. It's a lot easier because what the events is we're allowed to have 3 to 5 players on your team. It's a lot easier to get 3 to 5 players than getting 5 to 7 together to play a 5-on-5 game. And it's a lot faster paced, so I think it's a lot more active that way, and people enjoy it a little bit more. At least in my experience, anyways.
Is it still full court, or were you doing half court?
No, it's half court.
Okay.
Yeah, a half court game, so it goes a lot quicker.
So you can have multiple games going on, especially in a bigger facility. You got all those half courts. And
yeah, the way it's set up is each place we're at, we have 2 full courts, and we use just the 4 half courts, so there's 4 games going at a given time. We have 40 teams per event that's be participating, and what we do is we take of those 40 teams, we split them into 4 separate 10-team groups, and they run their own double elimination bracket. And then at the end of it, the winner of each bracket would then play each other at the end of the day for the site champion.
So does each winner of that tournament, then they move on to a bigger tournament, like a regional?
Yeah, and that's kind of what brought this about, is I wanted to take the 3-on-3 world and make it different. Traditionally, when you play 3-on-3 tournaments, you go there for a day, a weekend, something like that. You play, you get yourself a T-shirt, a goodie bag, a trophy, something small. And it's pretty much, hey, see you later, have a nice day. So I wanted to expand on that. But, you know, why would people choose our company with top 3 rather than somebody else? And so what I want to do is I want to find the best team in every state, actually. And that's kind of where the 10 sites come in at. We space them across the states evenly so we could find people in all areas. Because we market for that one specific town, one specific city to find the best team in that city. And then at the end of the year, the season runs essentially May through September. And then in November, everywhere, we're going to hold the state final. The first and second place at each local event would advance to the final, and they play each other to become a state champion.
Wow.
Do you expect, like, maybe the winners, these teams that are winning the states, the tournaments and everything, do you expect them to, like, start getting sponsorships and stuff like that to be, like, a traveling team to compete?
So that's up to them, really, if they want to.
Do you see that going bigger?
I do want to get bigger.
Like rankings and stuff like that?
And this year we're not doing it, but next year I plan on launching a national tournament as well, where the state champions would then play each other. Because as of right now, the way it's set up is the local winners, the first place would receive a $1,000 cash prize, second place would receive a $500 prize. They would also both receive customized jerseys that they would wear at the state final. And the winner of the state would then receive $15,000 for first, $10,000 for second, and $5,000 for third. And then they'll also receive an official top 3 game basketball for each player.
Wow.
So walk us through how somebody would register a team. Say that Joe and I are going to do a Lynxx 24.
We find one more person.
So, yeah.
or two more.
So walk us through how would somebody get involved with your company, with the tournament?
The easiest ways to do it, for a lot of things, obviously social media is huge. Okay. We have a Facebook page. It's facebook.com/top3promotions. You can go on there and you just hit sign up. And what that does, it'll redirect you to our website, which is top3promotions.com. Once you go to the website, there's going to be a big blue icon button that says, I think it says register your team or sign up today. I can't remember exactly what the wording I have on it, but you click that button and it'll bring you to a map. And on that map is you're going to select your state you're playing in. And so we pick Wisconsin. You just click the state of Wisconsin. It'll bring you to the next page will be the registration form. And on that form, it's going to have the list of all the 10 cities that were in that state. The closest ones to us are going to be either in La Crosse or Madison, so then you would pick one of those. The teams consist of 3 to 5 players, so you would need to find 1 to 3 more players to be with you. But you go on there, and it's pretty simple. It's pretty self-explanatory.
And then you chip in together, and you register the team, and then those proceeds go towards the purse, I guess, at the end.
It puts the purse, and then there's all the business expenses as well, so it kind of offset all the costs of that. But
Have you seen traffic yet on people registering?
Yeah, we've gotten quite a bit. I actually just did my first huge marketing push yesterday, and we've gotten quite a few registrations that came through already. So I'm excited for it. It's doing about what I want it to do now. So now it's just a waiting game to make sure we get all the teams full.
Sure.
So how long does your 3-on-3 season last?
The first one, usually it's May 15th through September 30th, spacing every 2 weeks.
Yeah, and then you said the playoffs in November.
Correct.
The state.
But some gyms didn't have the availability. So I do have one event out in New Jersey that's on May 1st, all by itself. And then I have one in Texas, in Lubbock, Texas, that's on May 8th, and that one's by itself. But the rest of them, they're pretty much every 2 weeks. So starting with May 15th, every other week, we're having events across the country somewhere.
Wow, what are you excited about, John?
I'm excited, really, to have people get out and be active in doing something. Maybe it's the military in me. I can't stand people when they just sit back and play video games and do nothing.
Yeah,
So
that's that passiveness.
And during COVID, everybody was quarantined. They really didn't have a lot of chance to go out and participate in sports.
Not at all. So a lot of gyms I've talked to, they're very excited about this. They're eager to get people out and doing things again. So they're probably as excited as I am for this. And hopefully with the back end of this thing is when these players show up to these gyms, they see how nice the facility is. Maybe they'll even sign up to join the gym to stay active and get out and do
what a
something.
great point.
That's what I would like them to do.
And it seems like the number is low enough that you could. I mean, 3-on-3 with the team of 5, there's not going to be a lot of. You're not bringing 10 people in.
Right,
like
that makes it a lot easier.
Numbers are low. It's a good way to get into
It's a good way to network, too.
Yeah. That's why I think it's a little bit easier than 5-on-5 because you don't have so much logistics to deal with. But it should work out, I think. I'm hoping.
And so is the Facebook the best way to get to the top 3? Your company or a Facebook or a website?
Facebook's probably the easiest.
Okay.
It's facebook.com/top3promotions. Okay. Or the website itself is just top3promotions.com. Either one, but Facebook is the more popular of the two. We also do have an Instagram and a Twitter and things like that. Sure. So they're all at Top 3 Promotions.
You are everywhere in social media.
We're trying. That's how you have to market these days and get your name out there is being on social media. So we're pretty much everywhere.
John, thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely.
Good luck with everything. Well, Nick is next with Moments in History.
This hot tub is so relaxing. The stress of the week just melts away.
Hanging out with friends is fun.
And we have so many reasons to get together.
My Traeger grill is the difference between a good
and an amazing barbecue.
The Fun Company Game Room Store
is where the fun begins.
We love being active and living life to the fullest, but life can sometimes have other plans. Do you suffer from neck and lower back pain, muscle aches, and poor mobility? Trust Olson Chiropractic to find you the right treatments that fit your needs, including the benefits of an alkaline lifestyle and healthy nutrition to help guide you to a better, more active life. Call Olson Chiropractic today, trusted in Toma for over 20 years.
What's the more in the little cottage home decor and more? Fashion. Shopping is fun at the little cottage. Update your look and discover more at the Little Cottage Home Decor and More, New Lisbon.
The Oakdale Credit Union has spent decades serving Oakdale, Mauston, and Reedsburg. From comprehensive financial services to reliable mortgage loans, we strive to provide unparalleled care.
I like the warm and friendly atmosphere each and every time I come in. The staff is very knowledgeable and truly cares about its members.
Come and learn more about the Oakdale Credit Union, where we treat you like a member of the family.
At Toma Health, our skilled orthopedics team specializes in adult reconstruction, sports medicine, fracture care, and hand surgery.
The collaboration between the two hospital systems has really allowed us to provide efficient, quality care in the community.
Toma Health offers the latest technology and aquatic therapy to improve patient outcomes.
The Toma Orthopedic Department works very closely with Toma Health in rehabilitating our patients. Toma Health offers expert orthopedic care close to home.
To learn more, visit tomahealth.org.
Hardware Hank knows you have projects, lots of important projects, from paint to plumbing, electrical, and yard maintenance. We have the area's largest selection of Milwaukee tools. Hey, it's what the pros use. We even have an in-store chainsaw sharpening service. It's time to build your property's value with Hardware Hank New Lisbon.
You've got a lot more going for you with Hank, Hardware Hank.
Relax at Marco's Italian and American Grill in Warrens, Wisconsin.
Hi, I'm Josh Tully from The Josh Tully Show. You're watching Lynxx 24, connecting you to the community.
Well, now it's time for Nick's Moments in History. Welcome, Nick.
Listen, if you need a third for that 3-on-3, don't call me now. Hey, listen, I got some history for you. You know, I've got several categories of history making for this day in March. In sports, the very first Masters golf tournament was held in Augusta this day in 1934. The Masters has only been canceled twice during World War II and delayed just once, guess when? This past year due to the corona pandemic, okay? In the area of TV, RCA manufactured its very first color TV set in 1954. Guess how big that was, guys? 15.5-inch screen, okay? And that's diagonal, actually, and it cost about $1,000. You can imagine compared to what we get today for $1,000 in digital. Okay, let's see, this day in history in music. Hey, Elvis was live in Hawaii for the U.S.-Arizona Memorial Benefit Concert, the proceeds of which went to the construction of the Pearl Harbor Memorial over the remains of the USS Arizona. Elvis had read about how the memorial's fundraising effort was very, very slow, and it looked like it might even get off the ground and might never even have been built. So on March 25th, today, 5,000 of his fans showed up, attended to see the king, and he raised over $50,000, and it was just enough to catapult that memorial into history. Well, let's see. On the disaster side, the infamous Triangle Shirt Factory fire in New York City in one of the sweatshops back in 1911. This was a big deal. The factory employed over 500 people. A cigarette started a fire on the 8th floor. 150 people, mostly immigrant women seamstresses, died in 18 minutes. There was no easy escape routes from the building, and the disaster, it shaped the future labor and safety laws throughout the country. New York, it just spread that people couldn't realize how bad those sweatshops have been managed. Well, in exploration, back in 1609, count them on your fingers, Dutch explorer Henry Hudson started on a trip to explore a shortcut to China. Everyone wants to get to a shortcut to China, over the Arctic Circle. Now, he didn't succeed, but he did explore the region around New York for eventual Dutch settlement of New Amsterdam, which of course we all know is New York was before it was New York. It was New Amsterdam. And eventually he went up a river, which they eventually called the Hudson River. And then he ended up going back up the Arctic and into a big bay area, which eventually was called Hudson Bay, for all you folks that like to look at your atlas. And unfortunately, 2 years later, after he started his adventure, he disappeared. Okay, and according to history, mutineers back up in what became Hudson Bay, okay, set him adrift on a ship from his ship called Discovery Bay, and he was never seen from again. So there you go, guys. A little bit of a lot of things. You know, I like the Henry Hudson story. It's real. I like explorer stories.
Sure.
Okay, they go out and they put up with so much nonsense, and yet they're mapping things and they're kind of telling us what it is that we're going to do. So, you know, or how we're going to sail. Yeah. What do you think?
Well, $1,000 for a TV in the 50s, that was not our $1,000 today. That had to have been a mega amount of money.
Today with that, yeah, that would be, that's got to be at least $3,500, $4,000 today.
That'd be a new car.
For that, yeah. For a little 15.5-inch screen, okay, to do that. Yep, and then of course there was the Masters. Lucy and I have been down, her sister lives in Augusta, so we get down there and we never get on the course, but we're around and we see all the activity that it brings to Augusta, South Carolina. No, Augusta, Georgia. That's right, yeah, absolutely. So that you had a good show, you guys. That information on the 3-on-3 is incredible.
Yes, well, Nick, we've got about 30 seconds with you. Tell us about what's spring like in Tennessee.
Well, the spring like here is that the weather is off and on here. We're on a plateau, which is Nashville is down in the valley, and Knoxville's down in the valley, and we're on a plateau. So we get a lot of breezes and we get some very strange weather patterns up here. But generally speaking...
Well, thank you, Nick. We want to thank our viewers for joining us where we're connecting you to the community.